The glamorous veneer of the Montecito dream has finally cracked, revealing a harsh reality of professional failure and personal devastation. In a week that can only be described as a catastrophic double blow for the Sussexes, Meghan Markle has seen her latest Netflix endeavor, With Love, Meghan, unceremoniously dropped from the streaming giant's future slate. As the Duchess grapples with the fallout of being branded unwatchable by lukewarm ratings, her husband, Prince Harry, has been pushed to his absolute breaking point. Appearing in a London High Court, the Duke of Sussex sat on the verge of tears, his voice cracking with raw emotion as he laid bare the toll of his never-ending legal wars. The message is clear: the Hollywood pivot has stalled, and the price of their freedom is becoming too heavy for even a prince to bear. For Meghan Markle, the cancellation of With Love, Meghan isn't just a scheduling change, it is a profound public humiliation. After the high-profile collapse of her $20 million Spotify deal, where she was infamously labeled a grifter by industry executives, all eyes were on her Netflix lifestyle series to prove her solo bankability. However, the data tells a story of dwindling interest in a brand that has lost its luster. Despite a glossy marketing campaign, Season 2 of the series failed to even break into the Netflix top 10 in the United States. Reports indicate that Netflix executives were underwhelmed by the amateurish production, which featured the Duchess offering basic hosting tips that many viewers found cringeworthy and out of touch. While Meghan has attempted to spin the cancellation as a personal choice to focus on bite-sized social media content for her as ever brand, the industry consensus is far more clinical. The audience simply isn't tuning in. The Meghan effect is no longer a guarantee of success, but rather a warning sign of high costs and low returns. While Meghan faces a professional reckoning, Prince Harry is enduring a psychological one. On January 21, 2026, the world watched as a visibly shaken Duke testified in his privacy lawsuit against Associated Newspapers. This wasn't the defiant Harry of the Spare Book Tour. This was a man who looked haunted by the very battles he chose to ignite. During a grueling cross-examination, Harry's voice broke as he addressed the judge, stating that the media had made his wife's life an absolute misery. He appeared on the verge of tears several times, his face reddening as he described the 24-hour surveillance he believes has defined his life. Critics argue, however, that Harry's emotional display is the direct result of his own refusal to move on. By constantly dragging the ghosts of the past into the courtroom, he has trapped himself in a cycle of trauma that no amount of legal accountability seems to heal. The trial, expected to last 9 weeks, is quickly becoming a public portrait of a man drowning in his own grievances. It is impossible to ignore the common denominator in these twin tragedies: the controversial influence of Meghan Markle. Since the couple's departure from the royal family, every venture touched by the Duchess seems to follow a predictable pattern of initial hype followed by a spectacular crash. Her insistence on controlling the narrative has resulted in a Netflix series that felt more like a lecture than entertainment, leading to its inevitable axing. Furthermore, insiders suggest that it is Meghan's relentless pursuit of justice that has fueled Harry's litigious obsession. While she remains largely sequestered in California, pivoting to social media tutorials and wine labels, Harry is the one forced to fly across the Atlantic to face the firing squad of the British legal system. The optics are devastating: a prince of the realm reduced to tears in a witness box, fighting for a wife whose own professional reputation is currently in freefall. The reality of the situation is supported by a string of recent setbacks that illustrate a brand in crisis. With Love, Meghan Season 2 ranked a dismal 1,224th in Netflix's internal engagement reports. Harry is one of the few high-profile figures still pursuing these costly trials, with legal expenses estimated to reach over £38 million. Even Harry's solo project, a documentary on polo, was critically panned and failed to generate the blockbuster numbers Netflix expected. The Sussexes' move to Hollywood was predicated on the idea that they were too big for the British monarchy. Yet, in 2026, They find themselves in a precarious position. Harry is emotionally spent and legally entangled, while Meghan is being quietly phased out by the very platforms that once promised them a billion-dollar future. Their freedom flight has led them directly into a storm of their own making.